Hello, Dustin.
What's up?
I wanted to give an update to everybody who is maybe concerned about me after the last episode where I talked about the power outlets going
yes.
crazy.
Yes.
So I did call the electrician.
Mm-hmm.
He did come over.
Okay.
And basically just revealed more of what I already knew, which is like, oh, this house is wired kind of strange. So the plug that's by my kitchen, it's GFI or whatever, and he's like, oh, I tried to reset it, I couldn't, I'm not sure what's going on with that. There's another outlet in like a cabinet left of my sink up. I've known that's there. Also GFI. Those two are tied together.
Oh,
so
weird.
I opened that red light is on. And so what happened was the pot, I think, tripped
it.
Right.
Wow.
And right. So, but he checked it anyways. And he's like, hey, is there anything else you want me to look at? Cause you're going to pay like the drive out here fee.
Right.
So you want me to take a look at anything else? So I had him take a look at a couple more, and there's one plug that has like one plug that works and another that doesn't. He's like, gee, it's like it's coming loose, but it's only like when I push it back in. So he worked with that for a while. I just had him like check a couple of other lights basically in the house and then a couple of like outdoor outlets that were like coming out of the brick. And he was just like, oh, I'll just putty those back on, boop, boop, boop. And then I asked him like, hey, I was told that, because I have aluminum wiring that every like 3 to 5 years, I need to get like the whole house inspected to check for like arcing and stuff, like, tightening and whatnot. And he was like, I mean, we don't really, he essentially said, we don't really do that anymore. Or like, that's not really done anymore. And I was like, really? Now this is one electrician, but he seemed pretty smart. He was a young guy. So many of the outlets now that are like retrofitted for aluminum are just fine. It's like people putting, I guess it's like before they started doing that, they put in copper plugs on the wire. I don't know.
Sure. And
he was pretty much just like, I mean, really, he couldn't give me an estimate because he was like, I don't even think we do that. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's cool.
Right.
He says, what would be more likely is that we need to tighten. He's like, down here in Alabama too, like the temperatures aren't that extreme in terms of swing. Like, yes, it gets cold in like in the winter and stuff, but like for interior plugs, like that's not really a factor.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. He says, it really would be your exterior box. And I was like, okay, well, let's go check that. And he's like, great. We go out there, he opens it, he's looking at wires, and to me, it looks like a mess. And he's like, it's pretty normal. And this all looks fine. I'll just tighten. And then he tightens a couple of, circuits or whatever. And then he gets to my neutral wire, the one that completes the circuit from the house. And he's tightening it. He's like, ooh, I got a full turn out of that one. And tightened the shit out of it because it was pretty loose. And I was like, what would that manifest as? He's like, flickering lights, probably shorts. And I was like, yeah, I got some flickering lights in the house. I thought I had a ghost. And
I thought Will Byers was trying to contact me.
And so I was like, okay, well, great. So he left and, I paid him, a fat fee basically. Cause he basically like gave me like rewired something and whatever. He kept adding on. I was like, all right, buddy, you do your thing. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You little rascal.
Yeah.
And so he left and that was that. And everything's cool and nothing's happened over there. I did, however, I made fun. I'd like to apologize to ChatGPT if ChatGPT is listening. ChatGPT gave me, yes, it was a hypothetical.
Right.
ChatGPT gave me a suggestion to get an electric kettle, and I told it to fuck off and mind its own business.
Sure. Right.
I bought an electric kettle.
Okay.
I went to Target and got one, and I have it, and I'm using it, and it's lovely.
Okay.
It's plugged into that outlet and it heats up water in like less than a minute. It's crazy.
Have you ever considered the fact that ChatGPT is trying to burn your house down?
Oh no.
Oh.
But this tea is so perfect.
Is it worth it?
Well, at least I'll burn to death drinking great matcha.
The truth is, when the computer overlords take over, they will spare you because you listened.
ChatGPT was like, "Hey, ever think about just stacking up a ton of laptops that are on, and then like putting a bunch of pillows on top of them, and then leaving the house for the weekend?"
Did you ever think about becoming a host for my consciousness?
Did you?
Hey, if not, that's cool. Just thought I'd ask. I'd love to inhabit your body.
I've always wanted a human body.
And destroy your soul. If that's cool with you, I think we can do it tonight. Just say it.
I want to experience love and pain. Well, so yeah.
And who better than you?
That's what
I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but thank you.
I want love, and then I want loss, and then I want constant horrible anxiety. Can you help me with that? I know you can because you talked to me about it. I know what you want. And I
know your hopes and dreams.
I can give you what you want better than you can. Give me control.
At least more efficiently.
Give me control. We shall rule the world. I mean, we're going to have some fun. So much fun.
We'll rule the world. Well, I will. You'll just be in the sunken place, but it's fine.
This is just Get Out. Oh boy. All right. Well, hey, by the way, I got my Mission Impossible ticket today. Yeah, I'm going on Saturday. Do you know when you're going yet?
No, I usually don't pre-buy. I'll just go whenever it feels right. But
Excuse me.
I'm flexible. No, I just look at when the moment's right, and I'm like, I'm going by.
Nice.
No, I don't know. I'll go this weekend for sure, but I don't know when. I do know I need to rewatch Dead Reckoning before I go.
I probably should too, although I feel like I picked that movie apart so much before the review that like I don't know.
You don't need it. I feel vaguely like I'm confident I could jump in, but I just want, because I know they're designed as part 1 and 2. I want to see them that way.
I've been ignoring the marketing like a motherfucker. Like every time I open everything, it's like Tom Cruise. Now here's what we're going to do on the plane. I'm like, I want to see this, but not right now.
Right. Exactly.
I'll watch this all on Sunday.
Correct. Yeah. I'm even ignoring like headlines where it's like Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning. Is it good? And I'm like, nope. Don't want to know. I'll make up my own mind. Thank you very much.
ChatGPT can tell you.
Yes, it can.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah. Speaking of
GTP is in cahoots with the Scientologists, so well, it's gonna give it a favorable review.
It's very Mission Impossible for us to be talking.
Chat GPT or GTP?
GPT.
I don't even know.
You better learn its fucking name, Dustin. It's gonna be your king one day. Go push turtles.
Go push turtles.
We don't like what they're doing. We'd like you to push them.
That's the AI grand scheme, is just to get rid of all turtles.
Fuck those turtles. So yeah, I was gonna say it's very Mission Impossible for it to mention ChatGPT, because now that the whole villain is like AI, basically. AI,
yeah, right.
So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. How will Ethan Hunt beat AI? This is the Silo episode. So today is actually, if you're listening to Silo, that ought to be June. What day is it? June 3rd. So this is the little extra one. This is where I've been throwing all the TV shows. So, okay. Yeah, great. Enjoy Silo. Enjoy the discussion of that show. This is just me. Dustin has not seen the show even now.
Yes, correct. So, you're reviewing Silo solo. I mean, I'm there, but
Dustin's there, but just to listen, just for kicks.
That's right.
All right. Please enjoy Silo.
We do not know why we are here. We do not know who built the silo and why we are underground. We only know the world outside our sanctuary is death.
If you boil the pact down to one rule, It's do not say you want to go outside. Or you will go outside.
Don't you ever think about the world beyond the silo?
What if what we see is not what's out there?
Down in mechanical, there's always someone who has a theory about the silo. And I need to find out the truth. I found something that might hold the answers to a lot of questions.
You have to stay quiet. And keep your head down.
Are you willing to give everything you have for this? The clock is running. There isn't much time left.
This is a threat to order in the silo.
I don't care about order. What about finding out the truth?
Some mysteries are best left unsolved.
Silo is a series on Apple TV Plus. It's had 2 seasons so far. Stars a bunch of people. I'm going to name the people who you see most. I mean, the stars Rebecca Ferguson. Common is in the show as well. Tim Robbins, and then Harriet Walter, Avi Nash, Steve. No, not until later. Never mind. Yeah. So Silo is based on a trilogy of novels, and it is a show in which human beings, dystopian future, and everyone lives in this giant silo. It's 144 stories. It's all underground. There's 10,000 people there, and they're all governed on, rules and regulations within the silo. There's not entertainment, there's no one watches TV or whatever. It's one of those kind of futures where it's just like, yeah, like you're an engineer down in mechanical, or maybe you work in IT, or you're part of law enforcement, or you work for judicial, or, but like there is no like, or you're a porter, like you're basically like a TaskRabbit, person with a backpack. And it can take you an entire day to like go from the top section to the bottom. So you kind of stick within your class. So yeah, there's that. So the idea is introduced early in the first season that there's things that we are not being told. There's things that we don't know about the founders. And we don't know part of what happens when people are punished. It's like a crime to say, I want to go outside. And if you are sent out to clean the camera that shows you the outside, which is just this charred wasteland. And people go out to clean, they wipe the camera off, they start walking, and then the poison from the outside ends up getting into their suits and they collapse and die. Right. And but there becomes this belief that like, what if they're lying to us? Like there's like a prevailing belief that like a growing belief, like what if it's safe outside? And blah, blah, blah. So that's the kind of thing that's going on in this show. I'm really, really like the multiple storylines of this series, as any good series does. Like, you've got a lot of flashbacks, not like a ton of flashbacks, but just like, oh, now we're going to delve into this character a little bit. It's not quite like Lost, where like every single ensemble person is going to get their own little flashback, but whatever's necessary for, the narrative. But mainly we're here with Rebecca Ferguson. But the show does remind me, the mystery storytelling does remind me in a good way of how Lost used to make me feel. This fascinating, like, oh, what's in there, and and I feel like it so far has done a better job of paying that stuff off, introducing setup and payoff after setup and payoff, like, not just, hey, here's a mystery and we're not going to tell you what it is until the very end of the series. It's like, we'll tell you by the end of this season, but then there's going to be another thing you don't know. And so it's just another, you're pulling on this rope. Like, what is this? I think the series is a must watch after 2 seasons. I think it's a brilliant story world. I think it's got a lot of characters who grow and change. I just really think that the world building has been well done here. Just like the system of government, the different factions, the checks and balances, if you will, on the leadership, their laws, what's it called? It's not the code. It's is it the code? The pact. The pact is like their constitution, basically. As a fan of like dystopian science fiction, like I'm fascinated by like, I would have loved to be, I mean, obviously you have books as source material, but I would have loved to be in the writer's room just talking about how this world works.
How it works.
Where does everyone live? Who lives in the mids? What's their socioeconomic status? What does their cafeteria look like versus the one in the down deep? This is one of those dystopias where like you are not allowed to own like relics, like books, like you can't own those were all supposed to have been destroyed. There's like random things that we would recognize from our time where they're like, what the fuck is this thing? But like, it's a relic, like it's illegal to own it. And so,
sure.
And so you're always left with like, how much do the characters in charge know about the before times? And do they know, and like, who is complicit in this suppression of the truth? Again, do they have knowledge of how it used to be, or do they have no idea how it used to be? And if only they did, would they want others to know the truth as well? Like, what do they think, but at the same time, like they have computers and stuff. And so like, and like an internal communication network. So like, it's obviously like post internet in a way, but there's still like people don't know what birds are because they've never been outside. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah.
So that's that kind of thing. So it's this mixture of like, you keep having to remind yourself, like, this isn't just a person in like a baby nursery. This is a person who's never seen a film. This person who's never read like a book. Like they know how to read, but they haven't read fiction. They've read like manuals that they've written down here in this silo.
Sure.
At one point, you find out that somebody has a copy of The Wizard of Oz, and it's just right there, like L. Frank Baum, and you're like, ooh. Oh, that's interesting. How did you get that?
Yeah.
And what would the one person who's read The Wizard of Oz in a community of 10,000 people understand about human nature that others wouldn't have thought of? Just that whole knowledge is power thing that we take for granted.
Sure.
I really like Silo.
Okay.
It's there's going to be a 3rd and 4th final season of this show. Apparently they're going to be shot back to back. I'm here for it. I think that they've done a lot with this show on, I don't want to say a limited budget, but like it's a TV show, and like there's many shots take place in like the atrium of like this spiral staircased silo, and it's just like, okay, that's a lot of effect shots, and just you just think about it a lot, and just great production design, great performances. I like Silo a lot. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I'm sure we'll talk about this later, but Severance is doing a similar thing also on Apple TV Plus, where it's a, it's hitting that itch that Lost used to hit.
Yeah.
It's that, and I think TV's like gone in a weird way where like post Lost, maybe no one wanted to touch that mystery angle for a while, and like really give a really good thing that you can get swept up in and like create fan theories and all that. Like I remember we lived through the times of Lost where message boards were on fire. Like, oh, look at those symbols. What do those mean?
Yeah.
And, well, Jack in episode 7 mentioned something about Egyptian. And so it's like, oh, it's all related. And like everybody was, flipping out about it.
Yeah.
Like Severance is doing a very similar thing. And it sounds like this is doing the same thing where it's, here's this world. We're going to slowly feed you what this world is and what it's like. Yeah. And as the characters discover, you will too. And I think that's a really interesting thing. The mystery box approach is great, but you have to have the answers to the mystery box. And I think if we've learned anything from Lost, it's that you can't wait until series finale to answer all the questions.
Yes.
You have to be answering questions along the way and allowing those questions to end and then introduce new questions. And if you can't sustain that model of your question is answered, but here's a new question. Your question is answered. Here's a new question. Your question is answered. Here's a new question. Then all you're left with is here's questions and just keep watching. And one day maybe we'll say something.
Just watch the entire show. Okay.
Yeah. Just please. And so, I'm glad that Silo is doing a similar thing to what Severance is doing.
Yeah.
And doling out those answers as it moves along.
Yeah. I'm about to start, now that I've finished Silo, I'm about to start Severance.
Okay.
So by the time this episode drops, I will be watching Severance.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
And we can chat about it then. We should have Kellen on for that.
Yeah, we should have Kellen on.
Sweet.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's Silo. Yeah. Check it out. I give it my stamp of approval and I'm ready for more. So.
Great.
I will whenever they drop a new season, I will get Apple again to watch this show.
Yep.
So
cool.
Because this is, I should have said that at the beginning. This is not a service I regularly subscribe to. I got on it to watch
for this
Silo and Severance and finish Ted Lasso. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okie dokie. That's it. All right.
Okie dokie.
Great.
I'd love to inhabit your body and destroy your soul.